Hey Damon, it's Jesse. I want to make this video just to get caught up. First things first, try to get some no steps, one steps, and full field goals from the kicking hip side. So, the main thing I want to do, I want to start filling up the case study so I can obviously look at film, but for you, it's important that you understand a couple things. Yes, you're a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. Kicking is freaking hard. I'm 6'4", 6'5". If you're a little bit bigger grown in your body, whether you're tall and skinny or a little bit more stout with thicker hips, either way, there's going to be an upper lower half body connection. Both of them, you and me, as I was developing, you can't see your freaking hips. So just like all this anterior pelvic tilt stuff you hear me talk about, you can't see them. So if those hips are tilted forward, by the time you land, you're going to over time, all that pressure is going to tilt your hips even more forward, especially on your plant hip side. So that constant jamming over time, my external rotation is going to be affected, and so you see my plant hip, I can't turn it out as much. That's because my hip has gotten super tight and my leg is internally rotated over time. So over time, you see how, if this is the ball, guys usually have a good plant hip in 10th and 11th grade, then they start going off the ground. It starts going here. What's happening? They're sticking out their butt more and more, and their legs turning in. So kind of like a squat, when that knee goes in, it's called a valgus knee. That's what happens. That's how a lot of ACLs are torn. You start seeing that plant foot go deep, and over time, by the time they get on the ground, their hips are just totally trash. So the most important thing that you have to know is that your plant hip is the most important hip in kicking and punting. So that thing has to have full mobility, because if it doesn't, the right one doesn't have a chance to get full mobility. So as I showed you before, I have super external rotation on my right foot. I kicked and punted, I did them all in the NFL. But because my external rotation is so good, my hip is jacked up. So on my kicking side, I lose my